Time for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by Adventure Cave Tours. Live a day in the life of a real adventurer with Adventure Cave Tours. Springfield Greene County Park Board, reminding you to go play. Blue Current, moving you forward since 1929. Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service. Call Southwest Missouri's best plumber today for a free estimate. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Hey, good morning on Thursday. Hope you're having a great week. We are moving right along. We're moving right along. Chance of storms today, so make sure you check out Wake Up Weather with Abby Dyer coming up after this. But we will begin with some news.
The search continues for the 22-year-old Springfield native Riley Strain. He's a student at Mizzou and went missing last Friday night in Nashville, Tennessee. Investigators have searched high and low, including along the banks of the Cumberland River. Sadly, surveillance video captured him as he was intoxicated, wandering down the street and actually toward the river. But so far, no sign of him. It's terrible.
It is terrible. Very, very
an 18-year-old is now charged with a felony of making a terroristic threat to the principal of Warsaw High School. The former student is accused of threatening to kill the principal because he was angry with him and shoot up the school. Witnesses told police about those threats, and police arrested the teenager and are now holding him behind bars.
Wow, that's also frightening. Then there's this, that we're not letting up. The first three stories here. A man from Oregon is accused of driving to Springfield to abuse a 13-year-old girl he met online. 26-year-old met the girl on Snapchat, then drove to Springfield where he abused her. Authorities are warning parents about the people, predators really, that their kids could meet online and the dangers they pose. So keep a tight leash, parents. The man in this case is charged in federal and in state courts for crossing state lines, and it's a serious deal. Man, there's so much danger lurking online when it comes to our kids and us too. We talked about scams the other day, but this is serious. Drury University has hired a new president. Dr. Jeff Frederick comes from Wingate University in North Carolina, where he is provost and executive vice president. He will start at Drury on June 1st and become the 19th president of the university. So congratulations to him and Drury. That's just a couple of weeks after Missouri State named a new president. So yeah, a lot of new in Springfield. And Greene County is trying to fill about 40 vacancies at the jail and is now offering some new incentives to try to do it. Greene County is willing to pay people 18 years old and older to work while they get their GED or high school equivalency. The student then has to commit to working 1 full year at the jail afterward. Greene County is seeing a problem with people applying to work at the jail, but they don't meet the educational requirements. So this would be a workaround, you could say.
All right. The Springfield Metro's unemployment rate rose in January. The Labor Department says Greene, Christian, Dallas, Polk, and Webster counties, that area, saw an unemployment rate in January of 3.2%, and that's compared with 2.3% in December. All right, now to this. This is an interesting story. Diapers and feminine hygiene products could get cheaper in Missouri if a new piece of legislation gets passed. However, it has failed before. Right now, those products, diapers and feminine hygiene products, are taxed at the same rate as luxury items, apparently, at 4.225% sales tax. But a group is trying to get that changed to get those items taxed as necessities instead of luxury, which is much lower. Then the tax rate would be 1.225% sales tax. A similar effort last year was passed by the Missouri House, but the measure never became law.
Well, that makes complete sense. I mean, when you ask somebody what's a necessity and what's a want, those are necessities.
Right. All right. Missouri's driver's licenses could get a stamp on them indicating U.S. citizenship. Some Republican House members are pushing for that due to an increase in the number of illegal border crossings. They say at issue is non-citizens voting, which of course is against federal law, but the state wanting to add another layer to that. The bill needs another vote of approval to move on to the Senate.
Okay, we'll be watching that. And this is something, the oldest restaurant in the state of Missouri is now closed. The oldest continuously opened restaurant. The J. Houston Tavern in Arrow Rock, Missouri, which is in the central part of the state, tiny town. It may actually be the oldest continually operating restaurant west of the Mississippi until now. The business is technically owned by the state of Missouri on the Arrow Rock State Historic Site. So the state has been leasing the restaurant space to different operators over the years, currently in a 10-year lease, but the operators who were in this lease said they couldn't finish the lease. They had to get out of the lease. So now the restaurant is closed, and the future of J. Houston Tavern is now in question.
All right.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have tried the food there. The oldest continuously open restaurant west of the Mississippi.
That's interesting.
That is. Yeah. It's gone now. We missed our chance. This is cool especially for Royals fans. Legendary Bo Jackson is now a member of the Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame, where he belongs. Jackson spent 5 seasons in the outfield for the Royals. 4 of those years, he also played for the Los Angeles Raiders football team, which is mind-boggling. During his career with the Royals, he had 460 hits, 313 RBIs, and 109 home runs, some of them really long home runs. Bo Jackson is the only person ever to play in the Major League Baseball All-Star Game and the NFL's Pro Bowl. He will be honored before a Royals game on June 29th. So
that's awesome.
Good for him. Bo Jackson he was doing his thing when I was coming up and a teenager, and man, in the 80s, he was phenomenal, but I didn't recognize at the time how phenomenal he was. But there's a ESPN documentary. It's a 30 for 30 on Bo Jackson. If you're interested at all, I recommend you watching that, because he was just a freak of an athlete. To be able to play at the highest level, Deion Sanders did it too, but to be able to play at the highest level of 2 sports at the same time is unbelievable. Michael
I had a shirt that said Bo knows.
Right. That was a very famous, fun commercial that Nike did.
Yeah.
Bo knows. And then it was Bo don't know diddly, and Bo Diddley was in the commercial. It was really good. Yeah.
I remember that because it was Nike and it was a white shirt, and on it said Bo in fluorescent orange and knows KNOWS in black. I don't know why I remember that, but I sure do.
Yeah, no, it was a great campaign back when Bo was doing his thing. But if you have any interest, watch that documentary. It's really well done, and it tells the story. It gives you a greater appreciation for what he accomplished during that time.
Right. All right. Well, have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you back here tomorrow morning.
Okay. Bright and early. See you then.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. We've got temperatures starting out this morning in the low 60s. It is going to be another warm day in the Ozarks with a high temperature right around 78 degrees. But the headline for you, I won't bury the lead. It's going to be storm chances in the forecast. I've got big time storm chances back in the forecast today, and that does include the risk of severe weather. So we'll dive right in this morning. I have storms that are going to fire up, I think, after the lunch hour, lasting through the late afternoon hours, through this evening. It's all developing out ahead of a cold front. And kind of the big question mark in the forecast today is how much of a cap do we have? Cap is something that meteorologists use to describe this layer of very warm, stable air. It prevents storms from firing, but I think the front is going to have enough forcing with it that we're going to break that cap today. And for us, that means storms that could be rather explosive. Severe weather chances in the forecast today. I'm sure you've heard about the risk, and it was actually upgraded a bit from the Storm Prediction Center for the Ozarks. So everybody needs to be weather aware today. Have your plan in place, and you need a plan too for like after school time, 3 p.m., pickup time, driving home, evening commute, there will likely be a handful of storms out there at that time. Another warm day in the forecast I mentioned will make it to the 70s today, out ahead of that cold front and the rain-cooled air. But it's us that's in the bullseye for some of the strongest and severe weather in the Ozarks. Best chance of seeing this severe weather, by the way, going to be south of I-44, including the Springfield area, all the way down into northern Arkansas. Everybody needs to have their severe weather plan in place today. Severe storms capable of producing hail to the size of baseballs. That is some serious hail. That can definitely do some damage. That's something that you want to watch out for. Damaging winds and, yes, even the risk for a possible tornado exists today. I expect that the tornado threat is a bit lower than the large hail threat. This looks like a hail setup to me when I look at some of the models. All the data is there. Hailstones will be able to grow, a lot of lift in the atmosphere, and it's a good environment for hail to grow. Numerous showers and thunderstorms happening afternoon today. So if you want to get out and about, get your errands done, and then you can head back home, I think that would be a great idea. Also, very important where you decide to park the car today. Think about if you can protect it for the second half of the afternoon. Best chance of severe thunderstorms across portions of southern Missouri and central Missouri. A low potential for localized heavy rainfall with this system as well. But we're talking hail to the size of baseballs, 60 to 70 mile an hour winds, and an isolated tornado threat. What these chances look like, it's called an enhanced risk. It's not often that we see that here in the Ozarks. It happens a couple times a year in severe weather season, but it just means that the atmosphere is prime for severe thunderstorms. It's not a guarantee everybody gets the thunderstorm chances, but I think where they develop, they will be very powerful, and we all have a chance for seeing them in the second half of the day. Timing, again, I'm thinking 1 p.m. to midnight. We'll probably be tracking this line of showers and thunderstorms that marches through the Ozark. Just as a reminder, thunderstorms can escalate very, very quickly. I know we're often reminded in the springtime, you go from clear blue skies to an ominous sky, and then one of those pop-up thunderstorms develops right overhead, and you could get caught in a bad situation. So that's not what we want for everybody today. Good news for you. You're starting the morning with the weather podcast, which will hopefully prevent some of that headache later on today. But set up a way to get warnings on your phone. There are multiple ways to do this. My recommendation, head to the National Weather Service website, and it's going to allow you to find, warnings for your county and get alerts to those. When alerted to a storm, get inside a sturdy building immediately and stay away from windows once you're indoors, especially important with hailstorms like the ones I'm expecting today. If a building is not nearby, then get inside a vehicle to protect yourself. But of course, with hailstones to the size of baseballs, that is stout enough to break a windshield. So really indoors and away from windows, best today. Of course, if you're under a tornado warning, getting underground is always best. Storm shelter is a great place. If you don't have an option for either one of those, what you want to remember is getting as many walls between yourself and the outside as possible. So in whatever structure you're in, that might be a bathroom, hallway, stairwell. Just want to put as many walls between yourself and the outside, depending on where you're at later today. Across the country, we are talking about some severe weather chances for a pretty widespread area back into Arkansas and Louisiana. And behind this cold front, by the way, you're going to see temperatures really fall as we head into Friday. Today, I have 78 for the high temperature. Really good shot for storms the second half of the day. By Friday, it's much cooler, 50s, low 60s. And then Saturday actually ends up being a really nice day in the region. Temperatures in the upper 60s again. I think we get the sunshine to return. And it's a little bit cooler again by Sunday with temperatures near 60. So that's close to average for this time of the year. Around the country, other things making headlines are a winter storm developing in the central U.S. with areas of heavy snowfall into the southern Rockies. That's starting today. It includes the Denver area for accumulating snowfall. Winter not over for the Mountain West. We also have severe thunderstorms for the central United States. Of course, we're getting in on that here in the Ozarks. And then fire weather conditions are continuing through the end of the week for the southwestern United States. All right, it's time for that Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister question. This is the question that I left you with yesterday. Here it is. What animal became the first pet? Options that I gave you were a horse, a cat, a dog, or a hamster? And if you chose C, dog, you are correct. In fact, more than 30,000 years ago is the first documented pet. It was a dog. How could it not be, right? They're such loyal companions. We would never rid them of the house or the couch. All right, here's your question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow. Quote, red vines, hot dogs, French fries, and Diet Coke. End quote. According to one of their co-stars, this diet is the staple of which Hollywood star? Who do you think eats that? Red vines, hot dogs, French fries, and Diet Coke. A, Betty White. B, Harrison Ford. C, Morgan Freeman. Or D, Robert De Niro. You can enter your guess at aroundtheozarks.com. What you can win is $20 to Scooter's Coffee. We give that away every single day here on Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. So you don't want to miss it. Enter for free at the website aroundtheozarks.com. Also there, we've got the forecast for you up to the minute all day long. Again, we are talking about severe thunderstorms in the forecast today. I encourage everybody to get a plan in place right now and find a way to get those watches and warnings. Head to the National Weather Service website also for more info on warnings for various counties. They're the ones that issue for our area, but really anywhere you can get your warnings is a great idea. If that's from one of the local news stations, a radio station, if you can find an app that alerts you to that, make sure your notifications are set to on to get emergency alerts on your phone so that we can keep everybody safe. I hope everyone has a great day. Enjoy the 70s before the storms arrive, and we will chat again early tomorrow morning.